We showed you the 3-inch big hammer in our DVD Southern Trout Eaters. This is another little fish from that photo shoot up in the Carolina mountains. Small fish off a bridge piling. The 3-inch big hammer is a great swim bait for the spinning rod. I don't usually talk about spinning rods and swim baits, but it's an application you need to know about. Swim bait fishing is sometimes about catching big fish, sometimes it's about catching tournament fish. And a lot of times the suspended or deeper swim bait bite is to be explored. The 3-inch big hammer with a soft swim bait tail and a exposed lead head is an excellent deep and medium water swim bait, suspended fish. So let me take you to Kentucky. This is the Kentucky Lake Dam, Calvert City, Kentucky. 3-inch big hammer, quarter-ounce head. I'm fishing these intakes. They're these big water vortexes that are sucking water in the corners of the dam area here. Just fish factories, just massive amounts of fish live around these vortexes. I'm able to throw that 3-inch big hammer on a quarter-ounce head, kind of yo-yo it in place. I'm fishing for suspended fish that are, 10, 15 feet down. It's probably 100 plus feet deep there. It's at least 100 feet deep there. It's a great application of the 3-inch big hammer swim bait. It's a great bait for catching fish off of vertical, steep walls, bridge pilings, man-made structure. Not a giant, but that's a keeper. 3-inch hammer. Got it eating pretty good right there. There's so many vortexes and moving water around here. There's just a ton of fish. You're gonna catch white bass, you're gonna catch, smallmouth, largemouth. But just a fun place to fish. You throw the big hammer out, you let it sink down to the depth you think you want to be fishing or where the fish are holding, and you can kind of just yo-yo it. The hammer swims really well going up or down. It's got a great profile, and I feel like I'm usually in a great position for a hook set. Fishing a swim bait on a spinning rod is actually quite a bit of fun and a great way to catch fish on man-made structure anytime they're really on bait and just you've got schools of fish. You throw that hammer in there and swim it around. You can drop it deep, you can fish it shallow, you can burn it, but it's a great vertical presentation and it catches a lot of fish for me. You can sit here and just catch them. It's kind of fun. There is no wrong way to fish the big hammer swim bait. The 3-inch hammer just got a great yo-yo ability to fish it straight under your boat, but you can get a good swim out of it as you're pulling up and as you drop it down. And that's kind of critical when you're after deep swim bait fish, when you're after suspended fish, when you're fishing man-made structure. You need something you can swim and kind of do no wrong with and just get around them. Swim that bait where you think they might be. It looks like a little bait fish. You've got an incredible assortment of colors to choose from. I'm going to go ahead and recommend you get yourself a spool of 15-pound braided line. Put it on your spinning rod. You will love what braided line does as far as spinning rods and reels are concerned. I've done it across the board with my fishing. With the big hammer swim bait, I feel like I have great line and bait control. I've got great ability to snap and swim the bait at depth. I can feel what's going on down there. I can feel bites better and I get a much, much better hook set. I use the double uni knot to connect my fluorocarbon leader to the braid. It's a very strong and reliable knot. I don't recommend it for big bait fishing, but for small swim baits like the 3-inch big hammer, it's a great knot. Braided line just has a ton of advantages of sensitivity, small line diameter, great hook sets. The zero stretch, I really get a good hook into the fish. And it's really resilient. I just keep fishing. When it comes to the 3-inch big hammer, you've got a 3/16 or a quarter-ounce jig head. They are made to fit the swim bait perfectly. The Big Hammer swim bait tail and the hammer jig head fit perfectly together. I use the 3/16 when I'm fishing in the upper water column and the 1/4 ounce when I'm fishing deeper in the water column. Both are excellent. Both are great tools. I carry a bunch of these things and I go through a lot of them every year. You're going to lose a lot of single top hook swim baits swimming around trees and rope and whatever else is down there. But the braided line, the fluorocarbon leader, the 3-inch Big Hammer, and the jig heads are just a system. It's a great way to swim a bait around steep vertical structure, feel what's going on, get a good hook, and get fish in the boat. The Tennessee River has a lot of man-made structure, stuff that lines up perfectly for the 3-inch Big Hammer and a spinning rod. You've got a lot of current, you've got a lot of concrete steep walls, you've got barge tie-ups. So anything that's man-made and kind of steep in nature where you need to swim a bait somewhere mid-column to get a suspended fish that's using the man-made structure as a current break or as shade or as structure or for whatever reason the bait fish are just there, the 3-inch hammer is a great choice of a swim bait on the Tennessee River. Notice the hook set. Keep a low rod tip. Just reel down and come up hard and keep constant pressure. That braid is going to give you a real good hook set with that exposed top hook. Yo-yo the bait. Keep a hand near your reel. But when you get into them, I really like to reel down and put the butt of the rod, point it right at the fish, and put a maximum bend on my spinning rod. You need to really apply a lot of pressure to get a top hook swim bait in a fish's mouth. I find the spinning rod really handles a swim bait nicely, but of course most swim baits that I like to fish are much too big for a spinning rod, but I feel like a spinning rod inherently helps you swim a bait along in the mid-water column, and it's just a real good way to catch fish. Size may not be excellent, but sometimes it's about catching 5 keepers, not 5 giants. And that's where the 3-inch Big Hammer really comes into play for me. I can go out there, get around some fish, and catch a bunch of them in a hurry. I can catch them in the summertime. I can catch them in the wintertime. I can fish the 3-inch Big Hammer down to 40, 50 feet. I've caught them on the Ozark Lakes swimming it over the deep standing cedar trees. But I find on the Tennessee River, anytime I have steep walls, shade, current, bait fish, I can usually swim that bait around, put a few fish in the boat. For more information about Big Hammer swim baits, where to buy, colors, how to rig, visit our blog at southernswimbait.com.